Hello and welcome to Mexico City, the only place in the world to host a third World Cup. In just a few days, the tournament will kick off here in this stadium behind me, the iconic Azteca, before moving on to the US and Canada. But is Mexico ready? My colleague John Holman and I have been going around the host cities to try to find out. There are questions on affordable tickets, infrastructure projects that haven't been finished, and perhaps the biggest question of all, can Mexico keep millions of fans safe?
That's spot on, Julia. The Mexican authorities are aware of those safety concerns and they've launched a big security push to try and reassure visitors. Here in Monterrey, there's thousands of police ready to hit the streets, and also these few robodogs. There they go, more on these later. But first of all, what does it actually mean for Mexico to host the World Cup again? That's a question for Julia.
In 1970, Mexico hosted a World Cup unlike any before. One that helped put the country on the global stage. The first tournament broadcast in color, it introduced millions of viewers to a modern Mexico, ready to establish itself as a regional power. 16 years later, as the capital reeled from a devastating earthquake, hosting the World Cup again became a source of national pride and unity. The world saw the face of a resilient nation, and on the pitch, history was made after Argentine icon Diego Maradona won his first title.
Adquirió todos los derechos.
70-year-old Eduardo was there for both tournaments and still remembers the excitement that spilled into the streets.
La ciudad era una efervescencia.
It was effervescent then. Today things are different. They lack soul. People aren't really excited to get involved, and that's because this is a game of the people, not of the rich.
Mexico's third World Cup is historic. No other country has ever hosted the men's tournament 3 times. But soaring ticket prices have put matches out of reach, while sharing the tournament with the US and Canada has made it feel less like Mexico's moment. Others insist reports of World Cup apathy are premature. The City That Never Stopped Playing is an exhibition that brings together hundreds of pieces of memorabilia from Mexico's previous tournaments, and its organizers believe the country's football spirit is simply waiting for kickoff.
The second that the World Cup starts, you're going to see how we feel it. Our northern friends that are hosting other matches don't have a chance on winning us in the parties that are going to happen here. Football is everything to the people.
And for many Mexicans, that's exactly the point. Their connection to football doesn't begin or end with the World Cup. Reta Mexa organizes improvised matches in public spaces across the city, using football to build community. They say long after the final whistle blows on Mexico's third World Cup, the game will still be played here, in the streets, in the parks, and even in parking lots. But hosting the World Cup also means confronting challenges that simply didn't exist the last time Mexico welcomed the tournament in 1986. Today, much of Mexico's international image is shaped by concerns about violence and organized crime. Here's John with this report.
We're aboard a Black Mamba, a Mexican-made armoured car, just a small part of the country's huge security effort to protect the world's teams and fans. Mexico knows that when many people think of it, they think of this. During the World Cup, it wants them thinking more of this. So authorities are guaranteeing safety from the president down.
We're ready for any type of situation. We're prepared, we're monitoring, and everyone coming can be sure they'll be safe.
It's a big claim, and the Mexican government's launched a huge security operation to back it up. It's centered on the 3 World Cup hosting cities. That's the capital, Monterrey, and Guadalajara. For worried fans, just a note, of those 3, only Guadalajara is a cartel hotspot right now. It's deep within Jalisco New Generation's zone of influence. But Mexico's deploying almost 100,000 security forces around all of them anyway. Police, army, and private security. They'll establish concentric security rings around the main hotels, airports, and stadiums. There'll be aerial support too, Black Hawks and planes watching from the sky. And Monterrey's got some other, slightly dystopian security assets. These remote-controlled robodogs can go into dangerous areas ahead of officers, or perhaps just into supermarkets to socialise a bit. People here seem to like them. One of the features of these robot dogs is that they get, shake the hand, is that they can actually scan your face to check if you're on a wanted list. So here we go, we're going to do mine, and hopefully that comes out with a very green light. But maybe the biggest guarantee against any trouble is that Mexico's cartels probably don't want to cause it. Kidnapping tourists, disrupting matches, it's only going to bring the weight of the law down and make it tougher for them to operate. It's likely they'll sit this one out. What might be more of an issue are protests. Mexican teachers and other groups are using the World Cup to push for concessions from the government. That can lead to violence in Mexico and accusations of police brutality. They're training to contain any demonstrations or crowd trouble. Whether they're able to do that while keeping things peaceful is also going to be a measure of the police's success this World Cup.
That was John Holman in Monterrey. And now to talk more about what this World Cup means to Mexico, we are meeting with sports journalist Marion Reimers, who has been covering everything to do with this tournament since it was announced that Mexico would be hosting. Marion, thank you so much for joining us. Can you tell me, does this World Cup feel different to you?
It does feel different. It feels different from so many angles. First and foremost, it's a huge World Cup. It's played in three different countries, 104 matches, 1,200 and something players.
Do you think that's worked in Mexico's advantage or disadvantage, the fact that it's so spread out? I get the sense that Mexicans feel as if they're not really getting a starring role in this games.
It's true. I mean, we have 10% of the games, which are 13 games out of 104. So there won't be that World Cup fever, for example, we had in Moscow or we had in Rio de Janeiro, where the inauguration took place and where, lots of countries gathered and it was centralized. It doesn't feel like that. At the moment, I think there is more frustration than excitement because, the ticket prices are not only incredibly high in Mexico, we just saw what happened with New Jersey, New York, and California also legally taking action against FIFA. It's not only the ticket prices, it's the sticker album, it's the t-shirts, it's everything that has to do with World Cup. It feels like the men's game has become a symbol of status and no longer a sport. And it also might change. If the Mexican team plays well, if people get excited, then that might be turned around.
What do you think the legacy of this World Cup will be for Mexico in 10, 15, 20 years?
Honestly?
Yeah.
Not much. Not much has changed. The transportation will be the same or even worse. The airport is not getting any better. So, it will be a memory, but I don't think we will have a long-lasting legacy in that regard.
Can you think of any uptake here?
We have to inhabit that contradiction. And it is okay to have critical thinking and to be critical of the World Cup and to be angry at certain things or protest against others. But it is also okay to feel joy in football because football is not FIFA and FIFA is not football. They don't own it. So I think that sense of community, that sense of belonging, that sense of leaving behind the big polarization that is, conquering our country and also worldwide is important. Football thrives through its sense of community.
What can Mexico expect from the team?
That is the biggest question. It's very hard because we missed out on an opportunity to rebuild football for the past 4 years. I think Mexico will play very well the first 3 games and then it's upwards.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and assume you're a Mexico fan. That's who you're rooting for.
Yes.
What does your heart tell you?
My heart tells me we're going to be world champions, but my heart is a liar.
That was sports journalist Marion Reimers talking to us a bit earlier today about what this World Cup means for Mexico. And joining us now, fresh off the plane from Monterrey, John Holman, welcome back. John, you've been going around the country. Tell me, what have people been telling you?
Okay, so what people are talking about and also worrying about is something called La Maldición del Quinto Partido. That's the curse of the fifth game. And what it's about is that in the last 30 years, Mexico's got to the fourth game 7 times, but it's never reached that fifth game, which is the quarterfinal. So the whole country is going to be hoping and praying that this time around they can get to the quarters.
All right, well, if they were ever going to do it, I think doing it at home is probably their absolute best shot, right?
Yeah, exactly. 1986 World Cup in Mexico. That was the last time they reached the quarterfinals. So let's see. But let's talk about some of the other teams in our region. What ones have you got your eye on then, Julia?
Well, as you know, my home team, Cuba, didn't qualify, so I won't be rooting for them. But we like underdogs, so I'm trying to think Curacao in our region, smallest country to qualify. Haiti, the poorest country in the region. So maybe either of those two, but I think if I'm honest with myself, in my heart, I'm gonna root for Mexico. I live here, my children are Mexican, so definitely Mexico all the way.
Yeah, let's see if they can do something this time round. They have got an experienced team. The coach, it's gonna be his 3rd World Cup, so there are some promising signs, I guess.
Fingers crossed. That's it from us here in Mexico City. Thanks for watching Inside Latin America, and now back to Doha with more news.